Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we have a faceless video because I just did not feel like being on camera. And I'm also on a race against light because it's almost the evening now and we're losing light. So I have to do this quick and hopefully it will be quick. But welcome to Project Pan 2025. So if you followed me from last year's Project Pan, you might remember that I was very flexible with the rules. I didn't really put too much pressure on myself, and I wanted to keep it this way this year as well because I want to make it not a stressful experience for me, but I'm going to be tracking uses. Last year I didn't track any use, but this year I want to see how I get on with tracking uses. So hopefully that'll be interesting, and yeah. Without further ado, let's jump into the products. So I usually like to go in order of application. So following that logic, we start with a concealer. This is the Lancôme Serum Concealer, and this is the only concealer that I own right now. And when I finished my NARS concealer, I was on the hunt to get a new one. Wasn't really sure what I wanted to get, and I ended up getting this one. And I actually do like it. I do enjoy it. It's a good concealer. It just is not the same as the NARS one. The NARS creamy concealer is my favorite. In terms of color match especially, it's my perfect color match, the shade Vanilla. And this is shade 120N, which is still good on me. It just isn't like the perfect match. But I really like this concealer. It performs well, but I prefer the NARS one. But instead of just jumping into buying the NARS one, which I've been very tempted to do in the last couple of months, I'm on a mission to finish this first before we jump into that. So this, I've been using this consistently for the last few months, I think since, probably since the summer, late summer, maybe September or something like that, September, October. I think I bought it in September. And the packaging is very difficult to tell where you are. So I haven't done the whole leaving it like this for like a couple of days to make sure everything goes as far down as possible and I can kind of get a line of where we are. But I will do that, hopefully, and try to insert a picture of that. But for next month, we will be tracking where we are. This is not full, but there is a very, very large amount left. This is probably going to be lasting me until easily the end of the year. So I'm not hoping to finish this one quick. This one's going to be with us for a very long time during Project Pan, but I still have to kind of figure out the best way to track the progress. I'll try to track uses on this as well, but I don't have a use goal with this. I have the goal of finishing it, so we'll see how that goes. Next up is a carryover from last year. If you were here for the last Project Pan, you have seen this. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Mini Powder in the color Fair, and my goal last year was to hit pan on this. I didn't hit pan in December, but I hit pan in January, and this is actually where we are right now. I was very, very close to hitting pan when we finished the last Project Pan, so I decided to carry this one over because my goal is also to finish this. I like this powder. It's a good powder. I don't know if I'll be buying the large version just because it's so stupidly expensive that I'm not sure I want to make that kind of investment. Something I like to do with Project Pan is set myself up for success with certain things. And this is one of those products where I know I'm going to be able to finish this. Every time I dip my brush in there, the pan gets bigger and bigger. So this one's going to be a satisfying before and after. So this is where we are right now. And yeah, I don't know when this will be finished. I would give it like maybe 4 months, 3 or 4 months, and it'll be gone. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So around April, maybe it'll be gone. Actually, no, we're already halfway through February. Let's say May. Yeah, May seems more likely. So let's see how it goes. But yeah, this should be easy enough to get through. And now starting with the more ambitious goals, this is the Merit blush in Beverly Hills. And this I absolutely love, but cream products scare me because of their expiry dates. I know that they have, these have a shelf life of 24 months, it says there, so 2 years, and I bought this one in May of 2024. So I still have a good like year and a half to use it up. But still, cream products go bad very easily, and I don't want that to happen. I really, really like this blush, but I've been neglecting it so much. It is probably what I would consider my staple blush. If I were to reduce my collection to just the bare minimum, which is one of my goals in the long term, is to have like just maybe 2 blushes, this would definitely be one of them. So why do I want to finish it, or why do I want to include it in Project Pan? Because I want to make sure that that assumption is right. So I want to make sure that this is my forever blush, if that makes sense. I can't buy this in Spain yet. Apparently they're going to be at some point shipping to Europe, so hopefully. But I could easily order it in the UK and have someone from my family ship it over to me. So that could work if I ever needed to replace it. But first, to replace it, I need to finish it. So I want to prove myself that this is my forever blush. It is definitely my favorite shade. If they ever discontinue the shade, then I don't know, then I'll have to find another one. But yeah, so my goal with this blush is actually to finish it. I haven't finished a blush properly in forever. Last year I finished the NARS one, the NARS Creamy, or what was it called? The Multiple, sorry. The NARS Multiple. I finished that, but it was the mini. And it was also a very like, I was using it very heavy-handedly because it barely showed up on my skin. So I don't really count that. I mean, it does count as finishing a blush, but it also was a mini one and it was very easy to use up, whereas this I don't need as much. This is where we are right now. I use this with a brush, so it does get a little bit fluff on there. My brushes are clean, but you know, it's inevitable to get a little bit of dust or fluff there. So I don't use it straight on my face because I feel like that drags the base that I might have done. So I do use it on a brush and then put it on my face. So this is how much I have left. I have been using it quite consistently this past month. But yeah, I want to prove myself that this can be finished in a year. So since it's been my primary blush for January and half of February, I want this to be my main blush for the year and see if I'm able to finish it. If I'm able to finish it and I don't get bored of it, then I am right and it is my forever blush. So I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. That reasoning makes sense in my head. But yeah, this is where we are right now, and we will see how this moves forward. And with the same reasoning, I have another blush here. And in this case, I'm only going to be talking about the cream blush because this is the Patrick Ta Duo, and it has the cream blush and the powder blush. And the one that's going to go into the project is the cream blush. So I will have to be alternating between the Merit one and this one, but for the same reason. I'm scared of this expiring. This one has 12 months of life, and I bought this one in May as well. So this one is a little bit less, has a bit less time to be done with. But yeah, this is where we are. I have used it quite a bit, but not enough to make a proper dent in it. It's probably some crap in there as well. It's very difficult to keep cream blushes completely clean. I don't know how people do it. My goal with this one is not to finish it, but to use it 50 times. If I manage to use it 50 times before May, which is when it would, be 12 months old, then I feel like I would have gotten enough use out of it. I haven't worked out the price per use or anything like that. I could, but I don't really want to. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for consistency, like 50 times, 50 uses feels like a good amount to me to give a makeup product a proper chance. I already know that I like this, but after 50 uses, I want to see what it looks like. And then when May rolls around and this turns 1 year old, I can decide if I can retire the cream part at least, because I trust powders for longer than that. Creams I definitely don't trust past their expiry date. I get very scared. My skin is very sensitive. I also have rosacea a little bit around my cheeks, and this goes on my cheeks, so I don't want to put anything that can anger my skin any further that might be expired. So we'll see what it looks like after 50 uses. I have to clean this, but how do you guys keep your cream blushes clean? Because this has this little lid and it's always on. This is transfer from my makeup brushes, but my makeup brushes live in a little case, so they're not like out in the open, and I wash them every week. This is just like fluff, I guess. Doesn't seem to be doing anything to my face, but I don't like the fact that it's like grimy. So anyway, how do you keep these clean? Let me know. But we shall see how I get along with this, combining it with the Merit one. Also the powder is really nice, but I'm not adding that to the project pan because I could keep this for past its expiry date for the powder, because I do trust powders for a lot longer than 1 year. And as if 2 blushes weren't enough, I'm adding another one. This is the L'Oreal Blush of Paradise, and again, this has been open for a very, very long time. It does have 2 years of expiry date. It's well past those 2 years, I believe. But this is one of my favorite shades. I've talked about this before. It's the most boring, absolutely boring shade, but it looks beautiful if you have fair, cool toned skin, which is what I have. I have neutral, cool tone skin, and I'm quite fair. And this is just beautiful. It's like beige with a little bit of rose, and it just gives you the perfect warmth to the face without looking orange. I'm adding this one to the project because I neglect it so much, and this combined with the Merit one looks absolutely perfect. These two are made for each other. But I want to use this and I want to hit pan. My goal is to hit pan at some point this year, just to prove that I'm using it, because again, this would be my forever blush shade. This particular one is discontinued. They don't make them anymore, so it doesn't really make sense for me to hoard it and never use it, because I don't want to use it up because they never make it. I want to get out of that mindset. I don't like the hoarding makeup. I'm scared to use it in case it runs out, so I'll never use it. Then why do I have it? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to use this until I hit pan. That is my goal for this year. This one is one that I can use quite heavy-handed. It has this print on it, and then you can kind of see it's starting to smooth over, but there's quite a bit of product in here. There are 9 grams of product in this blush, which is quite generous, I believe, because how much is in the Patrick Tar? 6 grams in the cream and 4 grams in the powder, and this one has 10 grams of powder, so you know, it's quite a generous blush. So it might not be as easy to hit pan, but if you're my shade, which again, I'm vanilla in NARS, and Mont Blanc in NARS, if that makes any kind of, if that's a reference for anyone, if you are around that shade, this is a perfect mix between a blush and a bronzer, because it does give you a little bit of warmth, but it still looks like a blush, but it kind of adds a bit of color to your face, like a little bit like you've been out in the sun. So I really like this. So my goal is to hit pan. I want to hit pan because I don't want to hoard this, and stop being so scared of losing my perfect shade, because I already lived through that with NARS when they discontinued my favorite blush ever, which was NARS Douceur. That was my absolutely favorite blush in the world, and they discontinued it, and I lived. I am still here. Nothing bad happened. I just found other blushes that also worked for me. So even if I finish this and I never find something that's exactly like this, I will find something that's similar. Because with all the makeup that we have now accessible, with all the brands coming out with new shades, that there is bound to be something that's similar to this. And I've already seen a couple of things that are very similar to this. So this particular product is for me to prove that you don't have to be scared of running out of your favorite shade, because there will probably be something similar, and it's just makeup, and they can discontinue something and life will go on, because there are far more important things going on in the world than losing your favorite shade of blush. I feel like I'm making Project Pan very deep, but I think it's also good for that. It's also a good way to, you know, to really value that this is just stuff. Makeup is just stuff, things. They can run out. You can find a different one. It's not the end of the world if you don't, you know, just, we're gaining perspective. Next is a bronzer, and this is the Hourglass bronzer in Diffuse Bronze Light, and this is the mini one. This is the travel one, and I've decided to include this because I don't get enough use out of bronzer as I would like. I'm very lazy lately when it comes to makeup, but I do love the way that this looks when I put it on. So in an effort to experiment a little bit more, I'm adding this to the project, but my goal with this one is to use it 50 times, because I am very much aware that we are never going to see progress in these kind of products. These marbled blushes, especially when they're baked. I learned my lesson last year with the Milani blush that there was absolutely no change in the 6 months that I was using it. So I know that's what's going to happen here. So I'm going to track the uses of this, but I have absolutely no faith in actually seeing any progress in this picture. But again, we shall see. Maybe I'll be surprised, and maybe we will have some kind of progress, but I highly doubt it. So my goal is to use this 50 times. I'll be tracking my uses and reporting back and see how it looks. But I want to, the goal with this is especially to use it, because I have it and I love it when I put it on. But lately I've just been like slapping on some blush and not putting any bronzer on and calling it a day. And then when I do use this, I'm like, I should use this more often because I really like the way it looks. But yeah, 50 uses. Let's see how we get along with that. And next we have another one of my US purchases that I did in May, and this is the Colourpop Supershock highlighter in Smoke and Whistles. These are the Supershock ones, have this very weird like putty texture. So you already see that I've been dipping my finger in there. I don't love this as a highlighter because I feel like it's very, very potent. Let me just show you. I just dipped my finger in there like very, very briefly, and this is very, very potent as a highlighter. I feel like it's way too sparkly and glowy and champagne-y. I don't know. It's very frosty, so I don't use it as a highlighter. But this looks beautiful as eyeshadow. I have been using it as eyeshadow and I love the way that looks. So my goal with this one is also to use it 50 times, but use it as eyeshadow. If I want to use it as a face highlighter at some point, I will count it as a use, but I don't think I'll be doing that because it's way too sparkly. But as eyeshadow, this looks very pretty, and lately I haven't been doing any eyeshadow at all because I'm very, very lazy, and this is a very quick fix because you just dip your finger, run it through your lids, and you're done. So yeah, this is how I'm going to try to use this for 50 times. These expire when do these expire? Does it not say? It doesn't say here. I don't know, I'm guessing it's about a year or two, so I'll be tracking the uses out of this as well. But yeah, at least I want to get some use out of it because I feel like it's pretty for the eyes, but I'm always lazy. So maybe if I'm keeping track of the uses, I think that I can get a little bit more out of it. Moving on to lips, I have a lip liner here. This is from Kiko, and it's their Creamy Comfort Lip Liner in the shade 5. And I've added this one because, again, I neglect my lip liners so much. And lately I have been using them. So I want to keep the ball rolling and I want to keep using it and just get some use out of this one. My goal with this one is also to use it 50 times. You might be noticing a pattern here that it's either hit pan, finish, or use 50 times. That is my that is my commitment to Project Pan. So this is a very nice shade of pink, like a little bit mauvey even. It's showing a bit more red on the video, but like I said, I'm on a race against light. But yeah, this is like a mauvey color. You can see it more on the lid. And this goes really, really well with a few lipsticks that I have. So I want to start using this a bit more because, yeah, lately I hadn't been reaching out for a lip liner ever, and lately I have been, and I really like the way it looks. So I'm gonna keep using these. Right now we are here. This is for reference to see where we get to. I just sharpened it this morning as well. It was very blunt and very disgusting yesterday, so I decided to sharpen it this morning, and now it looks a lot more tidy. So this is where we are for reference. I will be again marking it to make sure where we are next month, but yeah, not much else to say with this except that this goes really, really well with another product that I'm adding to the lip category, which is this. This is my Nivea Blackberry Shine. It says Liposan on it because that is the brand under which this is sold in Spain, but it is Nivea. It's the Nivea Blackberry Shine. Nivea just sells their lip balms under this brand here. They also have Labello in Portugal, for example. It's just marketing, but it's the same product. It's the Blackberry Shine lip balm, tinted lip balm, and these two go really, really well together for like a berry lip. And this one is almost full, as you can see. I have been using it, and the reason that I haven't been using it more is because this usually lives in my bag and I don't reach for it unless I'm out and about and I didn't put any lipstick on. So my effort for this is to leave it in my makeup bag and use it more continuously instead of just abandoning it in a purse or in a handbag. This is where we are right now. You can kind of see that I have used it a little bit when it's pushed all the way down. And my goal with this one is actually to finish it. That might be a bit ambitious, but this is one of those products that you can reapply over and over in the same day. So it's quite easy to get through, and I'm hoping that that's going to be the case. So I'm going to make an effort to make this kind of like my daily tinted lip balm instead of using Black Honey, which I absolutely love. And this is, by the way, this is not a dupe for Black Honey. I don't know who said that. I know that a lot of people like to say that on TikTok. This is not a dupe for Black Honey. This is much more purple than Black Honey. Black Honey has the perfect blend between purple and red and pink, whereas this is much more on the purple side. Still beautiful, but not a dupe. And the thing is that this one on its own kind of dried my lips a little bit once when I was using it in a trip, but when I combine it with the lip liner and use it more as a lipstick more than a lip balm, it actually works quite well. So these two are going to be paired together in an effort to use them more. This one for 50 times and this one actually to finish. So I'm excited to see how much this actually goes down, because I feel like lip balms are one of those things where I never notice that they're running out and until they actually, you know, kind of do run out. So we'll see how I get along with these, but I'm excited for these. I think these are going to be interesting to see before and afters. And finishing up on the lips, I have this Kiko lipstick, which I bought on a very irresponsible day where I was just I bought a lipstick because I was sad. I was just kind of like walking around, didn't have the best of days, and I popped into Kiko and I was like, I'm gonna buy something, and I bought this, which was a very unnecessary purchase, completely unnecessary. I have other things that are similar shades. I don't like the way it smells, but yeah, this is in the shade 405, and it's one of the Smart Fusion lipsticks, which are kind of in between a lipstick and a lip balm, so they're not very, very pigmented. They're very sheer and like hydrating and shiny. But this is the shade. It's like I think they describe it as a vintage rose. It's very pretty. It looks good on my lips. It's basically my lips but better, like a tinted lip balm. But I don't like the way it smells. I hate the way it smells. And I decided to include it here as like well, not a punishment, but like, yeah, like holding myself accountable to something that I bought that I didn't need. I bought it purely out of trying to fill a void, and I want to make an effort to use it. I bought it, so now I'm going to use it. I can easily get away with this, putting it on like without a mirror, just when I'm walking around the street. So again, it should be pretty easy to get a few uses out of it here and there. But yeah, this is kind of me holding myself accountable to irresponsible consumerism. So this is where we are right now. I think I'm going to use those K's as reference. So we are right there at the moment. I've used it probably like 5 or 6 times since I bought it last month or the month before. Yeah, so this is also a good way to remind yourself not to buy things when you are sad, because retail therapy doesn't work. Retail therapy just gets you more stuff that you then have to deal with. So I'm holding myself accountable and I'm using what I bought. So my goal with this is to use it 50 times. I don't think I've said that. 50 uses at least to justify that I bought it. It wasn't expensive. I think these are like 4 or 5 euros or something. But it doesn't matter. It's not about the price. It's about the fact that I bought something that I didn't need purely because I was emotional. You know, it just... So yeah, now I have to use it 50 times to justify those 5 euros that I paid, 4.5, I think. So yeah, at least I will get some use out of it. And lastly, I have the only thing that is not makeup, and it's this perfume right here. This year I'm also downsizing my perfumes. I've never been a perfume person. I've never been a perfume hoarder, but I do have like 4 or 5 different fragrances, as well as this one at home. And the one I use about 90% of the time is the one that I've been using for the last, I think, 5 or 6 years since I discovered it, which is my kind of like signature scent, which is the Narciso Rodriguez, the powder version. It's not the regular version, it's the powder version. That is my absolute favorite fragrance. I will never be changing that, or at least not in the foreseeable future. I love that, and it's my signature scent. Every time I wear it, someone asks me, or someone compliments my perfume. So I've already found my forever perfume, and I want to just keep that one. So the only other one I have left is this one. This one I usually bring with me when I travel because it's in a small bottle. But lately I actually had one of these refillable bottles, and I put the Narciso Rodriguez one in there because I prefer it over this one. So now that I'm in a different house, I didn't bring my Narciso one. So I have this, and I want to finish this. This is the last perfume I have before just having the one that I actually want. So this is the NUXE Prodigieux. Pardon my French. But yeah, basically this smells quite nice. It smells quite oily, quite strong, but in a good way. Also, I'm really bad at describing fragrances, so I apologize for that. But yeah, this one smells quite good. As you can see, I have used it a little bit. Right now we are right there, so like right underneath the tree leaves of the logo. Yeah, that is going to be my reference, I think. And yeah, my goal with this is to finish it by the end of the year. So I don't think it'll be a big problem. There is only 15 mils in here. I use a couple of spritzes every day, so this should be easy enough to finish before the summer, like definitely before the summer. And yeah, that would be the last perfume that I have before just having the one that I actually always use, and it's the one that I want to keep. So yeah. So these are all of the Project Pan candidates for 2025. This is what we're going to be working with. Yeah, this in itself is almost a full face of makeup, I would say, minus like mascara or something. So these are going to be basically living in my makeup bag, and they're going to be very easy to use day to day. So I'm very excited to do this again this year with a little bit more tracking and technicality. It'll also be interesting to see how I incorporate this into being a new mom in June. Yeah, and that'll be interesting. I think that probably June and July will be months where I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I will make an effort, hopefully. I'll still be going places and stuff, so I'm not a very high maintenance person when it comes to makeup. I need 5 minutes to do my makeup, so fingers crossed that I get those 5 minutes to do my makeup when my baby is here. I know that a lot of mums out there, if any of you guys have kids watching me, are probably laughing, saying like, yeah, of course, you just wait. But I'm keeping faith, okay? I have friends who have babies and they manage to put a little concealer and a little blush on. That is my goal, to put some lip balm, some concealer and some blush on. But yeah, I hope that you join me for this year's adventure and this year's before and after pictures. And yeah, thank you for being here. And if you are here from last year, I'm very, very happy that you've decided to join me this year as well. And if you're new here, I really hope that you enjoy this and that you find some comfort and inspiration watching this. I know that Project Pan videos, particularly the update videos, get more interesting towards the second half of the year because you have better pictures of like the before and afters. But regardless, I will do a monthly update, and hopefully we get some juicy before and afters as well. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you very soon. Bye.